And the day would not be very far when we say that even the single use is degradable kind of a plastic that we're going to use. And that's what the next milestone is, exporting our products to the big multinationals.
So, Mr. Goud, welcome to Pharma now. I was actually going through your profile and your LinkedIn profile, and I think and so many heights you are wearing, right? But I was very surprised to see you are already retired at 47. I said, my first question would be, I think, why 47? And what basically inspires you to take this kind of So a quick, maybe a overview of your career, how you have started and how you have done this.
Thank you, Ravi. First of all, my sincere thanks for giving me an opportunity to speak to Pharma now. Amazing job that you guys are doing to bring in, a lot of startups into the limelight. So coming to your question, this is something that I felt I should for multiple reasons. My philosophy in life is very clear. We only live once. And in that life, whatever you want to do, you have to do it. Because you just have to do what you want to do in that one life. Keeping that in mind, and the other factors which have actually helped me to take those kind of decisions is that I've started my career very early. After my research at IISc, I joined a company called as Promega. It's a US-based company as an application person. And then, in 1999, a company called as Amersham Pharmacia Biotech, I've joined them. Again, more into the products, more into the, more of science side of the story, and then the sales. So that I was just moving into the, the transitioning into the corporate ladder. So then a very interesting thing happened. That is in 2004, this particular company was acquired by GE, the world's largest company. And then from then we were a part of GE Healthcare. And then I've done the sales there. I was the regional manager. And then as I was continuing the regional roles, it was very clear that if you're a domain expert, which I was, or understanding what's happening in the latest technologies, which I was very keen, and then having your corporate experience, right, a grassroots level kind of an experience, working in the labs with the people on the field. So these are some of the traits that has given me a thought that if I pick up the management degrees, I think I was up for the senior leadership roles in GE. Then that's when I took up the executive management program from IIM Calcutta. After that, I think most of the things changed. The journey was accelerated very fast. So some of my bosses who really believed in my caliber, both in terms of technical, the technical horizon as well as the commercial acumen, and then the corporate understanding. So that's when I felt that I should get into these top roles, not very far, but it's very soon. Then we have these programs called as, that's what GE does. GE is also known as the Leadership Factory. So what they have done is they've sent me to US, Crotonville. That's our university where future leaders are trained. Once I got trained there, then I was very clear that I'm going to be the, one of those leaders who would run the country. And that's something that I was looking for. And I've started working in terms of developing myself to get to that role. Whether it is, having larger exposure towards finance or larger exposure towards a deeper exposure towards the customers and, having the connect at a senior leadership level in the customer place. And having a deeper understanding about what's happening in the system, in the company or, with the customers, especially in their biomanufacturing. from a design, from a discovery till the manufacturing, and then also having the experience of working with the Indian research institutes, universities. I think all these has helped me or helped my bosses to, to choose me as the country leader for GE Healthcare Life Sciences. So I continued there. We've done some phenomenal job while we were running, while we were at GE Healthcare. One of the most satisfying things that I would proudly say is that we were the ones who have helped the companies to make the COVID vaccines. So, the 2 billion doses of COVID vaccines that went around, not just India, but globally, was through our hands. The Cytiva, by then the company became GE, became the Cytiva, Danaher acquired us. And that's when we were actually with Serum Institute of India, with Bharat Biotech, with other companies who were developing, and we enabled them to make the vaccines very quickly and then efficiently, and then that's one of the proudest moments that I could say, one of the career achievements. I would say, producing, helping to produce 2 billion doses in time, on time, quality, and I would thank the entire team then who supported me that. And that's when I was featured in top 25 influencers in the life sciences space, along with Dr. Kiran Majumdar-Shaw, Dr. Krishna Ella, by one of the leading magazines. That was one of the proudest things, that your efforts have been recognized, not just in India, but the Asia-wide, where you've published, saying that you're the top 3 influencers or top 25, one of the top 25 influencers in the biotech space. So with all these things happening, and I developed interest in the startups. So I was the one we've created a vertical which would look at startups in the GE. So, this interest came up about 15, 16, about 10 or 11 years back. This interest came up. So my first investment went into a company called as Onconova Therapeutics, which is in US. It's a US-based drug discovery platform, drug discovery company, where we were trying to develop the molecules to cure cancer. And there is one drug which could have been a blockbuster, but unfortunately it failed. I think it is still moving, but I think I wouldn't say it's failed, but I think it's still taking its time to one of the blockbusters. That was my first investment that came up, and then was my interest into the other startups. And then my next investment was into a company called as ATGC Biotech, which is an agri company where we exploit, I would say, the nature's way of, attracting the opposite sex, and, what we call as a pheromones. These are the pheromones are the semiochemicals which are produced by any living organism to attract the opposite sex. And that's what we have, exploited and created. Our folks, the founders of ATGC and then the scientists at ATGC have created some of these biopesticides, which are blockbusters now. And I think, across the world, we are the third or second in the world who make this. Today we have both the route, synthetic as well as a biological route. So that was the second company that I've started with. And that's how my passion into the startups went on. And then a point came in when I said, okay, can I switch from a corporate to this space as a full time? And I would say my colleagues when we were in GE, and then my very close friends, rather I would say my family friends. Your colleagues becomes your friends, and then friends becomes your family friends, and then there's this brotherhood that has developed among the founders, where they've started this company, PharmNXT.
Okay.
This company started in 2017 in Bombay, where we initially started with working with multinationals and supporting them in India. And then we have set up our own manufacturing unit in 2017, where today I can proudly tell that we are the fastest growing multinational from India in terms of enabling not just the biomanufacturing companies, but also some of the pharma companies by providing them the single-use support. So we make them in Pune. We have our manufacturing center in Pune, And that's where we make our products. And when it comes to the quality, we are no less than any of the multinationals. In fact, we have been audited by many multinationals, and they say, we are much, much better than, multinational clients who come and visit us and then say this, we have a world-class facility. It is quite but natural when our founders are from the MNC. They know what it means in terms of building a facility, what it means in terms of building the quality, what it means, building, manufacturing material for the biopharma industry. So we have taken all the critical care that we need to take in terms of, establishing our manufacturing. So our manufacturing in Pune today, a manufacturing unit in Pune today, is about 20,000 square foot place, clean room facility with an expandable options. It's an ISO certified facility where we make single-use bags, 2D, 3D, assemblies, connectors. That's on the consumable side. And from the hardware side, and this is something that we all are proud of, the engineering team that we have, they have cracked the code of making one of the complex systems, what we call as an inline conditioning systems. It is one of the most complex in terms of the checks and balances that you need to have in preparing a buffer. So in biologics or biopharma, you need to have you will be using tons and tons of buffers.
Yeah.
And you need precision, you need just in time, and should not waste. So all you have to come together, and that's only multinationals have been able to do it. And today we are extremely proud to say that we've cracked that, and our leaders, our technocrats at our factory PharmNXT, they've managed to do it. And today, some of the international clients have said that we are much better in terms of precision, accuracy, and controls than the multinational they have evaluated. So that's the proudest moment. And then we moved on to the the lesser complex hardwares, and then today we have exported our products to 12 different countries. And one of the biggest achievements is that we have exported to US as well. Apart from the Southeast Asia, apart from Europe, happy to say that so all these things have made me to say that I think we've done enough for the corporates. Let's put a full stop there and transition to something where you can actually give back in terms of whatever the knowledge that you have gained, and now it's time to give back in terms of what you can create from an employee to a founding promoter and to an employer. So this is what has prompted me to take a very early retirement from the corporate life and then work with these companies. And today, it's not just the PharmNXT. PharmNXT is on the top, and my 97% of the time goes to PharmNXT, and the other 3% is to other startups that I'm the founding promoters as well as the investor and the advisory roles. And some of them are I would say new age technologies where I'm the beneficiary of one of the startups that I've invested. So this is called as Gene Power X, where we do the complete sequencing and then analyze the DNA sequence, and then we have panels, experts. Our founders are from Stanford, Harvard, doctors, a panel of doctors who started this. They've created these panels, gene panels, against those 5,000, 6,000 genes, which can precisely tell that if there is any mutation, if there is any change, and people are susceptible to cancers, how is their blood, lifestyle diseases, from lifestyle diseases to the chronic diseases is what we could predict, and then give them very precise, so what we call as a precision diagnosis and personalized treatment. So there are not just me, but there are multiple beneficiaries of this new innovation that we have done with. So we do pharmacogenomics, we do nutrigenomics, we do the entire genomics. So that's another interesting company that I work for. Yeah.
So I think I wanted to dive more into PharmNXT part, right? So there are a lot of buzz around single-use products and technology, and I think PharmNXT is your main product is in that line. If want to know more about what is single-use sterilized technology is all about.
So single use, as the word suggests, one-time use of anything. So if you look at the evolution of the biopharma or biologics, it all starts with a stainless steel. So stainless steel is what people used to prefer, right from your bioreactors. If you look at the workflow of the bioprocess or biomanufacturing, it starts with the clone development, cell line development. Then you put those and you grow them in a small scale, and that becomes a seed train for your larger bioreactors. And then that's actually goes into what we call as an upstream. You make the product, and then the downstream is you clarify, you purify, and then you purify into the next steps. That is the whole. And once your drug substance is ready, that drug substance is actually goes into the formulations, and then it just gets into the fill finish lines and things like that. Now, till recently, I would say 10, 12 years is where your single use concept has picked up. So in this whole process, what happens is there is this lot of clean solutions is what you need, in the sense, like, for example, if I'm using a bioreactor, stainless steel bioreactor, you need to clean it multiple times. Now the question is, how clean is clean, right? Are you sure that there are no traces of what you have done earlier? So multiple cycles of cleaning is needed. Now when you do that, and this is applicable from your first step till your last step. Now imagine the kind of volume of water that is getting wasted, the kind of buffer that is getting wasted, because you need to clean with an NOH tolerant solutions, because that's supposed to be the one of those disinfectants. You have to clean, and then after you use your NOH, then again you have to use your WFI. So there are about multiple cycles of cleaning that happen. So imagine the kind of water, chemicals that gets drained. And at the end of the day, how sure are you that this is completely clean, right? And that's where the philosophy of the clean, the single use has started. Now when the philosophy of single use has started, now the biggest advantage is, when you move from a manufacturing, especially in a manufacturing setup, and you cannot have multiple facilities. For example, the companies that we work with, they have multiple monoclonal antibodies that they produce, right? Multiple biologics that they produce, and having a dedicated facility, will not have a good ROI. Now, when we're talking about an ROI, the investments are very huge. It runs into millions of dollars, and it takes the space as well. Now, imagine I have a hardware, and then I use a single-use components into it. It's like I have a vessel, and in that vessel I'm putting a single-use, and then I'm using it and just throwing it off. And the hardware that I have, I'm using it for the next cycle. So in this process, what is happening is your single use has gained the popularity for multiple reasons. Not just from a cleanability standpoint, but ease of flexibility of shifting into the other products. So I have one facility, and then the same facility can be used for multiple products because I've incorporated single use solutions there. That is something has pushed the biopharma industry moving towards the single-use solutions. Today, if you see, I would say 95 to 98% of the biopharma companies are single-use facilities because of various reasons that I've just articulated. That's where you see the single-use has picked up a lot, and there are these percentages that I would say, you save about 87% of water, you save about 27% of labor, and then the additional advantages of flexibility, adaptability, clean, there's no hassle of cleaning, and then there's no hassle of, how do you clean the clean water. So all those things have, helped to move people from a stainless steel to single use, and that's when we've picked up that this is something that we should enter, and that's where PharmNXT have decided to get into the single use. So today in our factory, we make single use bags of various dimensions, various dimensions, 2D, 3D, assemblies, we make single-use assemblies, and all those things is what we make in our factory at Pune. So that's what we are specialized in Pune at PharmNXT.
So I have a very curious question. Specifically, every manufacturing or kind of pharma companies nowadays has ESG goals and sustainability. Right? How it's by using your product, you're saying about 80% water saving,
Yeah,
the labor saving.
yeah.
So is it contributing to the ESG goals of the pharma?
No, absolutely. Now, if you look at that, is something that we all are, aiming for as an individual, then as a society, then as a corporate company, and then moving on to your country carbon credits and things like that. So obviously, all these are going to help a company to say that today I don't waste so much of water. Today I don't use these things. While I use single use, and single use, there's a percentage of what goes into it compared to what it was versus what it is. I think it is drastically changing, and the day would not be very far when we say that even the single use is degradable kind of a plastic that we're going to use, and that's what a lot of companies are working with. So definitely yes, this is going to contribute towards the sustainability and managing the ecology and ecosystems through these sustainable solutions.
Sure. So, what is the further plan for PharmNXT now? What are the 5 years plan you guys?
So, like I've said, aspirationally, we want to explore not just few geographies, but we want to be the Indian multinational supporting the biopharmas in US, biopharmas companies in Europe, Middle East, then Southeast Asia, and obviously China. That is something that we wanted to do it, and we are already doing it. Today, like I've said, we take immense pride in telling two things. One is, the fastest growing multinational company based out of India, and the second thing is we have already exported our products to 12 different countries. So aspirationally, that is what we wanted to look at, and expand our manufacturing capabilities from a 20,000 capacity to maybe 40,000, and then 60,000 is what we wanted to enable. So it's the localization is what we are focusing on, and while I am on various conversations with various government agencies, and this is something that has been strongly promoted by our Honorable Prime Minister, and also the ministries, various ministries. They wanted to make sure that even the biopharma is self-sustained and reduce the dependency is what the philosophy is. And we are aligned with the philosophy. Our investments, our efforts, our expansions are towards that goal, that why shouldn't people in US look at PharmNXT? Why shouldn't people in companies in Europe should look at PharmNXT? Or that's the name that we are aspiring for.
Sure. The last question. In PharmNXT, what is next?
In PharmNXT, like I've said, the next milestone is exporting our products to the big multinationals. Why can't we support Sanofi's? Why can't we support Amgen's? Why can't we support Genentech's? Why can't we support Novartis? That is something. Samsung Biologics, Prestige Biologics, these are the big names that I've been hearing while I was running GE. Now today, can PharmNXT be there, one of those preferred vendors for their solutions in the biomanufacturing space? That is what we are aspiring, and I'm sure with the efforts that the leadership team is putting in, the kind of engineering capabilities or the IT capabilities that we have garnered in our manufacturing, and the vision of our founders, especially Sachin Joshi, Ankush Kapoor, Nandakumar Thakre, the founders who had a clear vision, and then we all are supporting them in their vision to make PharmNXT as one of the most sustainable and go-to and one of the preferred vendors for these companies.
Sure. Got it. What is the next step for product development?
So there are a lot in line. Focus would obviously be on the single use. Anything around single use is what we are developing. From a hardware is something that we are venturing into. That is something that we wanted to look at, and we've already, we have supported many companies in India and from a hardware standpoint. And if you look at our product development, so ILC is something that we are looking at, and chromatography is, TFF is already there. Bringing in more of automation, bringing in more of consolidated solutions to our esteemed clients. That is what our next aim for PharmNXT is.
I think best of luck with that, and thanks a lot for sharing all this with us. It's really amazing talking to you. Looking forward, the PharmNXT will grow like anything, and we would love to see you at NC level.
Thank you so much, Ravi. Thank you so much, and thanks for Pharma Now for giving me this opportunity to speak about our founders, the passion of our founders, and their both short, mid, and long-term vision, and how to make PharmNXT as one of the preferred partners and the fastest growing multinational company.
Perfect. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.